Welcome back to another video. In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to create these beautiful 3D acrylic flowers. So I created these really cute multicolored acrylic flowers. These are 3D acrylic flowers with little rhinestones in the center, and I also made some leaves, different shapes, different size leaves to fit into the nails. So I'm going to show you how to create the perfect petal. So let's begin with the products used to create these flowers. So I already put my flowers in a little organizer. This organizer can be bought at your local craft store. This particular one that I used is from a gold foil container. So I just took the gold foil out and replaced them with my little flowers. Another option you can do to organize your flowers if you decide to make them ahead of time, you can purchase one of these. This is from the Dollar Tree, so you can put them in here and separate them by color. So this is another option for you to store them and organize them so they don't get damaged. Okay, the first product we're going to use for this tutorial is my American Nails practice mat. So as you can see, this is a transparent silicone mat that I'm going to use for a size reference when making my petals. I'm going to use my Young Nails monomer and this small little liquid dish so you can see how much liquid I'm going to be using. A lot of people have this little small dish, so it's perfect for a size reference. This is the brush that I will be using. This is an art brush from the brand D&D. It is a 3D nail art brush. This brush isn't the best brush. You can see it's kind of a little bit thick. I cut it a little bit at the tip because I felt like it was a little bit too thick, but it still works for me. Ideally, you're going to want a brush that is angled and pointed perfectly. But as you can see, this brush is not perfect, but you can still make really nice flowers. So don't let the brush stop you. If you don't have the perfect brush, don't let that stop you, because this one works perfectly. And look, you can see it's not really the best quality, but you can still make it work. So use what you have. Use whatever art brush you have. I'm also going to use these little nail crystals in size 9. And my crystal tool that I got from Daily Charm. This is from Amazon. All the products that you can find on Amazon will be in my storefront. So that is all that I'm going to use. I also have these little like tweezers if I need to pick it up, but usually I can just use my acrylic brush and just slide it off. But if not, I will use these little tweezers. And that's all the products that I will be using. Right, so let's get started. I'm going to pour a small amount of monomer into my dish here. Just a very small amount because you don't need a lot of liquid. You just want to make sure that your nail is you just want to make sure that your brush is maintained moist. The powder that I will be using for this demonstration is from Valentino. It is the number 110 and the color is called Bodacious. The reason why I am using this color is that so you'll be able to see it better on this white background. Feel free to use any color that you have. Any acrylic brand that you have is going to work. Let's get started. Before I begin and show you how I do the petals, I'm going to show you how I pick up the bead. So I'm going to dip my brush into the liquid. About halfway on the brush, I'm going to remove the excess liquid and dip the brush in and wait for a second and pick up a nice little glob. So you can see that. So this is the size bead that we're going to be working with. The reason why I like to use this practice mat is because I have the perfect outline, the perfect guide for me to do all the beads the same size. So all I do is I one by one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do 5 petals and then put my flower together and make the flower. So now that you know how to pick up the bead, let's go ahead and practice them so that they are all the same size. I'm going to keep my powder and my liquid in view so you can see the entire process. So let's begin in forming these petals. So again, I'm going to dip my brush in. When I pick it up halfway on the brush, I'm going to rinse it off in my dish. You can use your pinky if you need some balance, and dip your brush in and hold for just a second. When it starts to polymerize, I just set it down. And as you can see, it is a nice and healthy size bead. I'm going to clean off my brush, dip it into the liquid, clean off both sides. I'm going to take the tip of my brush in the center of my bead and I'm going to press it backwards. When I'm pressing it back and center, I'm going to stop, do the same thing, and push it out on each side. This is going to open it up. I'm going to take the tip of the brush and the tip of the bead and form it into a petal, making a V shape. You can just press it in and you can see it is a nice, perfect petal and so easy to do. Let's do one more. Alright, let's do another petal. So again, I'm going to dip my brush in, pick up my brush, tap it in the center, use my pinky for balance, dip my brush in just for 1 second, bring it out. I'm going to wait for it to polymerize just for a moment. Going to set it down. You can see it's going to be slightly larger. It's a little bit more 3D. I'm going to clean off my brush, dip it back into the liquid, take off all of the excess liquid, and then from the center, we're going to push back, push back, push back, and then we're going to bring in. Super simple and easy. The more you bring it in, the more of a kind of like a cup it's going to be. So cute. I'm going to do another petal so you can see a little bit better. Hopefully it is in focus on the actual petal itself and not on my nail. So I'm going to pick up my pearl and just set it down. Oh, let's do it here. Clean off my brush, get some liquid and clean it off, and then I'm going to start to shape it. Hopefully it is not focusing on my nail. See how easy that is? Super simple. Let's just give this a second for it to set. You can see here, you can feather it upwards a little bit if you need it to be a little bit more shapely. So beautiful. Let's do another bead, another petal. So you do get slightly more product on the brush when you are tapping it instead of wiping it off on the dish. So if you want your bead a little bit more large and easier to be shaped, then just tap it instead of wiping off your brush. See how easy these are? Here is one of the little beads that I made to a little petal. It's so cute. I'm going to show you up close what these little petals look like. So I'm just going to take my brush and wiggle it under here and try to get it to come out. And here is one little petal. Hopefully you can see the little shape of it. And let me try to pick up this other guy. Pick him up with my little tweezers. And you want to be gentle because they are not cured yet. You can see how perfect these petals are. If you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. Ask them down below or message me on my Instagram. So that is how to do a petal. And all you do is just put them together and put a little rhinestone in the center. And you can make any color little flower you would like.